आणि काही बचा म्हणून
विजय कुमार जॉन. विजय कुमार जॉन.
असन्नेव स भवति Pranams to all Atma-Jyotis, divine light of the self. We are continuing with the Taittreya Upanishad, second chapter, 6th shloka. Asanneva sabhavati asat brahmeti vedachet asti brahmeti chetvedaha santam yenam tato viduritihi tasyesha eva sharira atma yah purvasya atato anuprashnah uta vidvanamayam lokam pretya kaschana gacchati aho vidvanam lokam pretya kaschit samushtata so akamayatah bhausyam prajayeti satapo tapyata satapastapva idagam sarvam usrajat yadidam kimcha tat srishtva tadeva anupravishat tadanupravishya satchatya acchabavat niruktam cha aniruktam cha nilayanam cha anilayanam cha vidnanam cha avidnanam cha satyam cha amrutam cha satyam abhavat yadidam kimcha tat satyam iti achakshate tadapi esha shloko bhavati iti shashto anuvakah. So last time I told you that whatever you think you become. If you say there is nothing called Brahman, you will also become non-existent, because whatever we think, we become like that. We constantly think there is no God, there is no Brahman, there is nothing. So then you will also become nothing, because it's your own nature which you are thinking. So what we have to think, that there is, what you have to contemplate, that there is Brahman, there is one supreme reality behind all realities. So that is Brahman, that we should contemplate on. So what about the people who are there? There are people who say there is no God, there is nothing. So whatever they think, it is their choice in life. So whatever you say, that they will take, you will take. So now somebody says, let's say there is a beautiful place. If you go there, you will enjoy. If you say, there's no beautiful place, there's no thing, I can't imagine like that, it doesn't exist. If you say, you won't experience it, that's all. So whatever you think, you will ultimately attain. Now, there's a difference between somebody saying something and Vedas and Upanishads saying something. Vedas and Upanishads are saying there's Brahman. So that purpose is to uplift you. The purpose is to guide you. They are not spelling with a selfish purpose. So if you don't believe that, if you don't say, if you say it's not there, it's your choice. You will also become non-existent. So what we have to think, Brahman alone, the supreme reality alone was there in the past, is there in the present, is there in the future. all that is there is pervaded by Brahman. Okay, so then will be uplifted. Then there is a question: if Brahman is the reality, if somebody dies, okay, will he attain Brahman just like that? If somebody dies, who is the Adnani, who is the ignorant person, because Brahman is the reality, will he attain that Brahman after death? Is the question. The answer is no. Okay. So Adnani is one who is identified with the something. He has identified the body, he has identified the mind, or he has identified with the political power. He may be identified with the name, fame, whatever is that. He thinks he is name, fame, or something else. So his attraction to the small, his identification with the finite has not gone. So when it is not gone, how can he attain the highest? In anything in life, okay, to attain something, you have to drop something. If you have to do engineering, okay, you have to drop medical, right? If you want to do business, you have to do both engineering and medical. If you want to become a politician, you have to drop business also. So, whatever you have to drop something to gain something. Right? Without dropping, you will not gain something. Adnani is holding on to something. He is holding tightly with something. How can he gain something which is infinite unless he loosens his hand, unless he drops? This is like a monkey catching a monkey. A monkey, what they do, they keep some peanuts in a bottle. The monkey sees the peanut and puts his hand into the bottle and grabs the peanuts. Once it grabs peanuts, it cannot remove its hand out of the bottle. The bottle is tightly fixed to something. So then what the monkey doesn't want to give up the peanuts, right? It will be hungry for several days till the monkey catcher comes and takes the monkey. So if you hold on to something finite, you're stuck there. Even at the time of death, ignorance is not gone. How can the ignorance go after death? The body, mind and intellect which is given for human beings to understand life, that is not used. When the vehicle is gone, then there's no further knowledge is gained. So with that ignorance you go and you find another body to experience life. So what will happen to Adnani? Will he attain Adnani? Will he attain Brahman when he is baptized?
Yeah.
No, not necessarily. He will attain Brahman when he is alive. The whole purpose of life, enlightenment or mukti is not a question of after death. This is not a question of after attaining something after death. So the attainment has to happen if the body-mind complex alive, with the intellect working properly. You will be able to understand and realize what is not Brahman, what is Brahman. That clarity if you attain, so you will become one with the Brahman while he is alive. Gnani has become one with Brahman when he is alive. Adnani cannot become one with Brahman even when it's dead. Okay. So if you have to attain God, if you have to realize God, it has to be realized when you have a body. That's called Jivan Mukti.
If someone is leading a very simple and contented life, so what will determine his next birth?
Simple and contented life.
Contentment, no.
No, but he will not want anything more, right? So,
That is what contentment.
Someone is leading a simple and contented life. That someone is there now.
yeah.
That's not continue. The question is, if someone is a simple and contented life, he is leading.
Yeah.
So what will happen is next birth. He doesn't want anything.
Yeah.
But the problem is someone is there. Someone will perpetuate itself to lead a contented life, next life also. Someone doesn't want anything.
Yeah.
Okay? He is happy with what he is getting, he is contented life. Now, what will happen after that? Will he attain Brahman?
No.
Or there's someone is there. The sense of identity is there. Some individuality is there. Okay.
This
So
contentment
probably
is
next
ideal.
time also you'll be contented. Next time also you'll not get married. Next time also you'll say.
You're going to say you get married, you're not contented.
Contented life will have.
It means to say the contentment is identified with somebody, so it continues.
No, the contentment is identified as body mind complex.
Whatever.
I am contented. Okay, so that's why.
But at the moment of death,
Right. At the moment of death,
the predominant thought that arises, that is supposed to determine the next birth, right? Now, so if
So
the
the predominant thought is that I am an individual, contented individual will be still there. See, this deepest sense of I am contented
Yeah.
is also there, no?
yeah,
The contentment is my nature, the peace is my nature as it dawned. The bliss is I am bliss as it dawned, as it realized, is it realized. So contentment is a state of mind where there is ambitions and maybe fear or less or not there, right? But doesn't mean that absence of ambition and absence of fear doesn't mean that wisdom.
yeah.
Right? The life will continue to exist in one form or other form until the wisdom dawns.
So, but if there's suffering, the individual will question, right? If there's no suffering, he's like very non-calent, and will he just keep on continuing?
Ah.
That-
Until suffering dawns. Because what happens is the contentment also is not a stable state.
Yes.
Anything in life is not stable. Neither contentment nor fearlessness. Life after life, there are various situations are encountered. Multiple situations will come. Unless you are deeply wise inside, some situation will create that
Question.
restlessness, fear, doubt. So it's like saying, I'm healthy. Okay, I'm very healthy. I have a good health. I walk for a few kilometers every day. I eat good food and I am healthy. Then doctor comes and says, no. You have a tumor inside. X-ray. The health also will open up. So a person who is contented and peaceful, still he is not necessarily a wise person. A wise person is contented and peaceful. That's a different matter.
Yeah.
It's not vice versa is true. Okay. See, there are various stories in Upanishad and all, where Puranas, where it's told in various ways of what happened to the person. Right? So, for example, Jadabharata, the Chakravarti, the story of the Emperor Bharata Chakravarti, was the emperor of India. His empire span across Afghanistan and beyond that, I think, this side and Bali, Sumatra, on that side, this other side of India. So that day he said he renounced his kingdom and said, I'm contented, I'm living a contented life. He went to a forest, nothing, I don't want. He gave his kingdom to his son, everything, and he went to the forest. But he was living a contented life. He thought he got one deer, he got. Okay, that also didn't say it's a desire. I am actually out of compassion for that guy. That desire. So ultimately, the compassion became. And when the deer died, when he died, he was like, "Oh, what happened to the deer?" He said. Then he becomes a deer. So the ignorance is sprout in some way. Okay, the ignorance is like a
See.
seed. It's called Congress grass. Is there no? Not a political party. They're all in Bangalore. All over this Congress grass. Is there? You know what Congress grass? Partheni. It's called Congress grass. So the Partheni, even one seed is there, it will create a forest. So ignorance is like that. Okay. So, why this variety is there? Why there so much of infinite variety is there in the world? Why so much of you see the five elements, the sky, the wind, the air, the water, right? The fire, the earth, the mountain and valleys, living and non-living beings, right? So, how did this come? How did this come? In the beginning, he alone was there. The Atma, Paramatma alone was there. Okay, that Paramatma being alone is shown in the form of Narayana, resting peacefully. Nobody else is there. All alone. Nobody else was there. Then he decided, I will become many. Okay. Then many were created. And not only he created that, he entered into that also. He gave life to that. So now the question comes, why did he create? Was he bored? Okay. Or was he unhappy? Why did he create all this? The answer is, he was neither bored nor he was unhappy. He was always blissful. Out of bliss he created. Out of ananda he created. Out of joy he created. When I say he, it's she also. It's not just masculine. Out of joy, this world was created. The universe was created. That's why it's called Leela. Leela means play. Okay. Then he entered. What all he entered? Niruptam cha, aniruptam cha. Niruptam means how did he create this? First he did tapasya. Okay. First he did meditation. Tapasya is, before you do something, you visualize, contemplate what you want to do. For example, somebody wants to build a building. Before building, how the building should be? Okay. Oh, there should be a what we call as foundation. The building should be 2 stories. The kitchen should be here. Like that, somebody has to contemplate. So the mental creation has to happen first. So this process of visualization and creation is called tapasya. What you create. Okay. So he first did tapasya, and out of tapasya he created this world. Then he entered into world. What kind of world is that? Niruptam cha, aniruptam cha. Ukta means spoken. Anirupta means unspoken. Ukta, I can speak of something which is concrete. I can speak of this bottle, but I cannot speak of abstract, it is not concrete. Okay. Right. I can tell you about something object. I cannot tell you something very deep, subjective experience very concretely. What is manifest and what is manifest? Unmanifest. Mukta, Nirukta. Both are he. He became both Ukta and Nirukta. Nilayanam cha, anilayam.
Yeah. This cosmic mind, like when you say tapas, is it also just a thought, or how is it?
Concept. So, to tell you very simple way, consciousness has a concept. The concept takes a form, right? Form is nothing but a concept. Concept is nothing but consciousness. The other way also. So, concept and thought and the form. That's how it happens. Everything is other way also is true. Everything is consciousness only. Water, ocean, and wave. Nilayanam cha, anilayam cha. Nilaya means there's a place, living place. There's a place for living. What is the place for living? All beings are the nilaya. So animals are there in the animals are there in forest. Human beings are there in the houses. The birds are in the sky. the fish is in the water. Each of them have a niraya, means place to stay. Now there's anilaya also. There's beings which are there's no place to stay also. Nilayanamcha, anilayanamcha. Those are also created by him and entered by him. Vidnanamcha, avidnanamcha. Vidnana means those who have intellect. Vidnana is intellect. Avidnanamcha, intellect. There is no intellect. Intellect means there is no jada and chetana. Chetana, living beings has some amount of chaitanya operating through intellect. Jada, stone, that has no intellect. Okay. Satyam cha, amritam cha. Satya and Amrita. Satya means what is true. So what is true and what is not true. Amrita means false. What is true, what I can see and experience is a fact. Okay, I can see you, I can see that, I can see this board. These are all fact. I can see seasons, rainy season, summer, winter, sun movement, all these things are, I can see. Right? Then I can see something, but it's not true. For example, I can see a ghost in the night. The ghost is nothing but a shadow. I can see a mirage. Right? In the desert, if I go, I can see some water, but the water is not there. It's called anruta, false. So what is true and what is false? Both he only became. He only took the form of true and false. It is, to understand this, a better way to understand your dreams. In your dreams, you see a tiger. Okay? In your dreams, you see a river. When you have a nightmare, you see your wife or husband also. Right? You see an elephant. Okay? You see a forest. Where all these have come from? Mind only has taken the form. Our own mind has taken the form. Are these true? Are these real? Is the tree real? Is the forest real? Is the husband and wife real? You have entered into it to experience that. Alright? And everything appears to be real there in the dream. But everything is of the form of mind. Mind only has taken that form. This is the individual dream. Whereas in the universal dream, what you see is happening. The sky, the space, the wind, the fire, the water, the earth, everything is appearing in the dream of the universe, dream of Brahman. That's why Narayan is always resting in relaxing and resting, and some dream comes in the dream, suddenly one universe comes, another universe comes, like okay, this is the universal dream. Only difference is your dream lasts for 100 years. That universal dream lasts for ever. Okay. So it appears everything in your dream, and earth, air, wind, sky, elephant, everything is nothing but dream material only. Similarly, everything what you see in this universe is nothing but Chaitanya only appearing as different things. Now, what is not real is the dream is not real, because after you wake up, the dream disappears. Then what is true? Mind is true. Mind is there. Similarly, everything of nama and name and form, what you see in the universe, even though it changes and disappears, the Chaitanya remains. The Chaitanya itself has taken all these forms. So why this is told? Please tell me. Why this sloka is important? Because deep inside us, we have a feeling of separation and separation from existence. I am separate, the earth is real, everything. So in our meditation, on these thoughts come, we should clear our thought process by this understanding that everything is Brahman only, everything is consciousness only, Chaitanya only. Idamagra asti satya yadvai tat sukratam taso vai sahasamhi eva ayam labdva anandi bhavati ko hi eva anyat kah pranyat yadesha आकाश आनंदो न स्यात् एष हि एव आनन्दयाति यदा हि एष अनात्मैत तस्मिन् दृश्ये अनिरुक्ते अनिलये अभयं प्रतिष्ठां विन्दते अतः सोभयं अगतो भवति यदा हि एष एतस्मिन् उदरम् अन्तरं कुरुते अत तस्य भयं भवति तत्त्वेव भयं विदुषो अमन्वास् अस्य तदपि एष श्लोको भवति इति सप्तमो अनुवाकः This was, whatever you see here, was asat earlier. Asat means non-existent. It's not non-existent. It was in a very sukshma, subtle form. For example, a seed is there. In the seed is a mango tree there. The mango tree is there in the seed. Okay, and that seed grows and becomes a mango tree. Mango tree was in a very subtle form in the seed, Sukshma Rupa. And that Sukshma Rupa has become Sthula Rupa. So this universe has a subtle form, a causal form, and a gross form. In the beginning, it was in the causal form, which is in subtle form. Then it has manifested as a gross form, and after dissolution, it will again go back to the causal form. So it is not that it's not existent. It just, okay. To give an example, you saw a tiger in your dream. Was there a tiger earlier in the dream? The tiger was there in a subtle form in your mind, Sukshma Rupa. So that became a gross form in the dream. Similarly, the universe was in a very subtle form. It took the form of a gross form. And once it dissolves, it again goes back to subtle form and probably causal form. There, in the subtle form, was there a name and form? There was no name and form. Further qualities, gunas, it was not there. Is there a mango you can see in a mango seed? No. Okay. It was like Akasha, it's like space. Means if you look at deeply there, you can't see anything. Nothing comes out of Shunya. What has come out of Shunya? What universe has come out? Universe has come out of Sukshma, not Shunya. Subtle. From that subtle, from that causal state, whatever we see, everything has appeared. The beautiful mountain, the deep valleys, the ocean, the living beings, non-living beings, they are all from the causal form. So this is actually beautifully explained in our Puranas. Okay? So Narayana is sleeping on the Shesha. What is Shesha? What is the meaning of Shesha?
Well,
Shesha in Sanskrit means balance, remaining. What is Shesha? All of karmic impressions, what remains in the universe becomes Shesha, subtle. So next universe has to come out of that subtle, Shesha, balance. Brahman created the universe out of that Shesha, and it is not a creation out of material, some other material. It's always a part of Brahman only. Right? It's not different. Anything is created not out of something else. For example, you have to create a pot. A pot maker will have to create a pot. He needs a mud. He needs a machine to make the pot. But Brahman, there is no separate thing, anything other than Brahman. Everything is from itself, from its own body, its own consciousness. It created this universe. So Brahman, no, who made Brahman? Who created Brahman? Nobody. That's why it's called Sukrata or Swayamkrata. He is Swayambhu. He is himself. Nobody created Brahman. And whatever is created is out of joy, and he experiences joy in creation. Ananda. Ananda is out of Ananda creation is born. Out of Ananda the wind blows. Out of Ananda the trees sway. So everything in joy, everything in creation is out of Ananda, bliss. There is no bondage. When you go to work, to the office, you are going to a bondage, salary, or a fear. Boss will shout at you. Right? When guests come to your house, you cook food. Otherwise, you fear that you are afraid that they will comment, not in front of you, behind you. Right? You prepare and dress well because other people will comment. So anything what you do is out of some sort of fear, deep fear, out of some sort of expectation of either fear or reward. Right? You do something well. Oh, you want appreciation. Oh, you have done very well. Whereas Brahman has done everything out of Ananda, and there is no reward or appreciation or fear. That's why whatever he does, he enjoys. Ananda only is there. He alone is responsible for our experience of Ananda in us. In our life, we experience some small amount of Ananda, right? Some small amount of bliss, or whatever bliss we experience is because of the bliss of Brahman you experience it. When you understand your relationship with Brahman, the fear drops. Otherwise, always there's a fear. Because fear is fear of separation, fear of seeing separate, separation in existence. You feel the whole world is so big and vast, so much of competition in the world. You always feel fear. There's a fear. When you see the oneness with the world, oneness with the totality, oneness with the existence, the fear drops. What is the nature of Paramatma, Brahma? Ashariri, there is no body. Okay, so now there is no body at all. But all bodies are in him. All bodies are in Brahman. But Brahman himself has no body. It's like gold and ornaments. Ornament has a shape. A earring has a shape. A necklace has a shape. A bangle has a shape. But gold has no shape. Gold itself is everywhere. Water, ocean, and wave. Wave has a form. Ocean has a big form. Water is always, everything is there is water. Like that, Brahman is Ashariri, no body. He is not bonded by any body, because the bondage by any body is a limitation, is the pain. Avikari, he is free from any disturbance of any kind. One which has a form has a birth, growth, decay, and death. One which has no form, neither birth, nor growth, nor death, nor decay will be possible. Anirvacha, we cannot speak and explain about Brahman. We can speak about something of a subject, something which has a form, we can speak something. We can talk about something which has a form. What is formless beyond any form? You cannot speak anything. Anirvacha. Then what are these names of God? So many names are there. Okay. And what are these forms of God? So many forms you do puja. Huh?
All living beings.
See, please understand. You don't worship a form. You worship the formless through form. You are chanting a name. Name through name you are trying to reach nameless. The limitation of name and form is human mind, not of the divine. So that is only a way. Don't mistake it is the destination.
Means to end.
Means to end. So one who becomes one with Brahman, one who realizes that I am not a body, I am not a mind, I am not intellect. I am Chaitanya, pure consciousness. He becomes one with Brahman. What is the relation? Nanu, Nanembudu, Nanalla, Ideha, Manabuddhi, Nanalla, Sachidandatma, Shivananunani, Shivoham. The Muslims ದೇವರನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿದ Allah. So whatever there is a form is not that. Form has come out of it. So ಯಾವುದು Allah. ನಾನು ದೇಹ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಅಲ್ಲ. I am not. Then what remains is Chaitanya. It is everything. When you remove the name and form, what remains is the real original. When you melt all the gold ornaments, remove all the name and form, what remains is pure gold. Similarly, beyond the name and form, Chaitanya is there. Your words cannot explain it, words cannot express it, because you can express only the form. So the bhaya is there, the fear is there because of identification with the body and the mind. Because of the identification is limited, you have fear. When you become limited, the fear drops. Abhaya. That's why it's called Abhayahasta. You can see that Abhayahasta in the all the right. You have seen the Narayana, right? Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma is there in Narayana's hand. These are symbolic in nature. Shankha represents the Omkar, the primordial sound. Chakra represents the wisdom, intelligence, universal intelligence, Mahatattva. Gada represents the karmic law of karma, is used for ruling the world. Padma represents the mukti. Okay. So now if you see, Tanka and Chakra, they are in the upper hand. That means beyond the creation, the Omkara, the Mahatattva and the sound. What is there in the creation is law of karma. That's why in the lower hand. So in all these four hands of God, the lower two hand represents the what is manifested side. Upper two hand represents the what is unmanifested. You cannot see.
Para and apara.
Huh.
Para.
Para. Para and apara. Right. So lower is seen in the Gada. And then Padma is there. Padma is for those people, he rules with the law of karma and shows moksha. That's the. And then in the next place you see Abhaya, Abhaya Hasta. So Abhaya Hasta, Bhagavan shows you Abhaya Hasta, be fearless. Okay, then you say, if I go to report to examination chant squad name, I will become fearless. If I have disease, I will be fearless. They'll all elevate your fear. Really, the fearlessness is once you become one with the Brahman. Till that point of time, it's always temporary. Yeah. Even if you see little bit difference in Brahman, even if you see small crack of a difference in the Brahman, then there will be fear. Whatever you see, whatever you experience in the universe is nothing but Brahman only. Even if you see the difference will be sufficient to create fear. Because that is not reality. Everything is Chaitanya only. In the Chaitanya, if you are not able to see the Chaitanya, you see something else. It's like your dream. In your dream, there's a tiger. In your dream, if you know that it's a dream tiger, then you're not afraid. Okay? The moment you think it's a real tiger, it's gone. You will have to run. You can't stop. Right? So, only you will become fearless when you realize everything is Paramatma Sarupi. Everything is of the nature of Paramatma. If that understanding is not come deeply, then there is a fear. So then he says, Tattve Bhayam Vidusho Amananasya. Vidusho means one is Pandita. Okay. A learned fool. A stupid Pandita. Okay. The Pandita may say so many things. Brahman is everywhere, Brahman is inside, Brahman is outside and all. Okay. He is a learned fool because he has not realized. It is not just knowing it is sufficient, realization is required. This learned fool concept is like this. There was a boatsman. There are few people in the boat. He was crossing the river. So there is a great Pandita there. He asked this boatsman, "What have you studied?" "I have not studied anything." "Oh my God. Have you not studied 4 Vedas?" "No." "Half your life is gone." "Have you studied Yoga Shastra?" "No." "Another half your life is gone." Then it starts raining. The boatsman asks, "Swamiji, have you studied how to swim?" Okay. "No." "Then your whole life is gone."
You are in trouble.
You are in trouble. So, this here says learned fools. These are learned fools. There are people who are speaking about so Brahman, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad. They can speak here. They are right in center.
Basics on
No realization. If there is no realization, also there is same problem. Same. There is no difference between him and unrealized person. It's the realization which makes a difference, not the learning. There used to be so many Panditas who used to come to Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. They used to quote Vedas, Upanishads, left, right, and center. Okay? Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, "I have not studied Hindi." But what he has realized, none of these people can understand. Ultimately, what makes the difference is the realization, not the amount of knowledge we accumulate. Then why are you studying all this? Why are you listening to all this? Huh?
means to elevate you to that.
These are all inputs for you, right? Without understanding such thing exists, you cannot go. Any questions? Bisha Asmad Vatah Pavate Bishod Eti Suryaha Bisha Asmad Agnihi Chendrascha Mrityurdhavati Panchamaiti Saisha Anandasya Vimagumsa Bhavati Yuva Syat Sadhu Yuva Adhyayakah Ashishto Tradishto Balishtaha Tasyayam Tatvi Sarva Vittasya Purnasya Sayeko Manusha Anandaha Teye Shatam Manusha Anandaha Sayeko Manusha Gandharvanam Anandaha Shrotriyasya Chakam Mahatasya Ye Te Shatam Manusha Gandharvanam Anandaha Sayeko Deva Gandharvanam Anandaha Shrotriyasya Akamahatasya Ete Shatam Deva Gandharvanam Anandaha Sayekah Pitranam Chiraloka Lokanam Anandaha Shrotriyasya Chakam Mahatasya Te Shatam Pitranam Chiraloka Loka Anandaha Sayeka Ajanajam Devanam Anandaha Shrotriyasya Chakamahatasya Te Shatam Ajanajanam Devanam Anandaha Sayekah Devanam Anandaha Ye Karmana Deva Napiyanti Shrotriyasya Chakamahatasya Te Shatam Karma Devanam Anandaha Sayeko Devanam Anandaha Shrotriyasya Chakamahatasya Te Shatam Devanam Anandaha Sayeka Indrasya Anandaha Shrotriyasya Chakamahatasya Te Shatam Indriyasya Anandaha Sayeko Brahaspate Anandaha Shrotriyasya Chakamahatasya Te Shatam Brahaspate Anandaha Sayekah Prajapate Anandaha Shrotriyasya Chakamahatasya Te Shatam Prajapate Sayeko Brahmana Anandaha Shrotriyasya Chakamahatasya Sa Yashchayam Purushe Yashchasava Aditye Sa Ekah Saya Evam Vit Asma Loka Pretya
Vedya.
Etam.
Etam.
Annamayam.
Annamayam.
Atmanam.
Atmanam.
Upasankramati. Etam.
Etam.
Pranamayam.
Pranamayam.
Atmanam.
Atmanam.
Upasankramati.
Upasankramati.
Etam.
Etam.
Manomayam.
Manomayam.
Atmanam.
Atmanam.
Upasankramati.
Upasankramati.
Etam.
Etam.
Vijnanamayam.
Vijnanamayam.
Atmanam.
Atmanam.
Upasankramati.
Upasankramati.
Etam.
Etam.
Anandamayam.
Anandamayam.
Atmanam.
Atmanam.
Upasankramati.
Upasankramati.
Tadapi.
Tadapi.
एष श्लोको भवति
एष श्लोको भवति
इति अष्टमो
इति अष्टमो
अनुवाकः
अनुवाकः
the same the Brahman, out of the fear of Brahman the wind blows, Vayuh pravate. This creation has certain order, and this order is created by Brahman. Everybody follows that order. There is no disorder. Right? When you go on the street, all vehicles go on the left hand side of the road. Because there is a law. If you violate the law, you will be punished. So similarly, there is a law in the universe which operates at various levels. This law is called dharma. And no being can violate that dharma. The wind blows out of the fear of dharma. Sun rises and sets out of the fear. Sun rises and sets, you can say, because of gravitational force and all. But ultimately, gravitational force is the dharma, the law. Vishat tasmat agnihi. The fire burns. Why fire burns? Fire cannot be cold tomorrow because the fire's nature is determined by Brahman. You have to be like that. Indra, the lord of all devatas, also operates based out of the fear of Brahman. When you say fear, this are some rules and regulations, the law and the order that you call as dharma. Forget about Brahma. The lord of death, Mrityu, also operates. Mrityu says, oh, okay, you're my friend, I will not leave you. Okay? He has to do his job. Right? It's a tax collector, right? Tax collector. When he comes, somebody's friend comes, he cannot say, I will not collect tax from you. He has to collect tax. If he doesn't collect tax, he'll be put in jail. Of course, there's some corruption there. Okay? But in the world of Brahman, there's no corruption. Nobody can violate. The Mrityu, Lord of Mrityu, he cannot say, I will not leave this person. He has to perform his duty according to the prescription. Prescribed duties he has to do. There's no violation possible. Now there comes to the main shloka of the Upanishad. This particular chapter is called Anandavalli, Brahmanandavalli. It explains the Brahmananda, the bliss of Brahman. How do you explain the bliss of Brahman? To explain the bliss of Brahman, there is a scale given. So I'll say you. To describe something with the subject is very difficult. You say, I went to Calcutta and I ate a very nice sweet. Very, very sweet. Then how will you say how sweet it is? Is it sweeter than jalebi? Is it sweeter than Mysore pak? So you have to give some examples to tell how sweet it is. Because other than example you cannot understand. Okay. So there is a set of examples given here to make you understand what is the Brahmananda. Imagine for a moment, there is one man called Manushya. He gets all the wealth in the world. Every wealth in the world becomes his, because he becomes an emperor or a king. Every wealth in the world becomes his. He has an Ananda. Okay, that ananda is the least of the anandas you started explaining. Smallest ananda is that. That is the smallest thing you can experience. Brahmananda in them will start explaining what is Brahmananda. All wealth in the world, somebody gets it. His ananda is there. That you consider as one Manushya ananda, one man's ananda. Such 100 people's ananda is put together, okay, will become ananda of Manushya Gandharvanam ananda. Manushya Gandharvanam means, Gandharva means musician, right? The musician's ananda is more than the ananda of somebody having lot of wealth. Musicians, you see, they are enjoying themselves. Whereas this guy has lot of wealth, he has to get all this wealth and protect it. Musician experiences ananda, Manushya Gandharvana. Okay, 100 such people's wealth put together is equivalent of one musician. Manushya Gandharvana means human musician's ananda. He is enjoying himself by the music. This raga, that raga, he is enjoying himself. He is happy. Right? So now, is that the end of that? Shotriyasya cha akamahatasya. All this ananda, what is this ananda? Somebody who has got all the wealth in the world. This hundreds of wealth is equal to ananda of a one musician, Gandharva. And all this ananda are a part of the ananda of a Brahmadnani. Shotriya means one who realized wise, who has knowledge of Shastras, and realized person. Not just knowledge, is not speaking of somebody who is not just knowledge. Shotriyasya akamahatasya, one who has become free from all desires. How he becomes free from all desires? Only when he is realized. All this ananda is nothing but a part of the ananda. How is that so? There is sun, there is a tube light, there is a candle light. A candle light, can it exist without sun? The tube light is derived, electricity is derived from water and it exists without sun. All lights are nothing but a small fraction of the lights of sun. Similarly, all ananda which you are speaking is only a small fraction of the ananda which is experienced by Brahmadnani. Shatam Manushya Gandharvanam Anandaha, 100 musicians Ananda. There is a music consortium, right? Music concert. There are 100 musicians are singing. They are very peaceful, they are singing. So that 100 musicians Ananda is equal to Ananda of Deva Gandharva. Deva Gandharva is superior. It's a Devata, musician of gods. Even that ananda is also a small part of the Brahmananda of a Gnani. Okay. Shatam Deva Gandharvanam Anandaha. 100 Deva Gandhar, 100 divine musicians are there. They are very happy, joyful. Okay. There are hundreds of Deva Gandharvana Ananda. Ekaha Pitranam Chiralokam Anandaha. One ananda is equal to ananda of one pitra. There is a pitra, some pitras. Pitra means those who have passed away. They have attained permanent lokas, eternal lokas. Okay, Shashwata loka. There are Ashashwata loka and Shashwata loka. The ananda experienced by them, ananda experienced by 100 Deva Gandharvas, 100 divine musicians is equal to one pitra ananda. And even that is a small fraction of the ananda experienced by who? Brahmadnani, realized person. Okay. Okay. Sa ekam ajanajanam devatanam anandaha. Shatam pitranam. 100 such ancestors who are living in a permanent loka. Their ananda is equal to ajanaja devatanam. Unborn devatas. There are different categories of devatas. There are different categories of living beings. There's Ajanajam Devatas are there. They are hundreds of Pitra Anandas equal to one Ananda of their Ajanajam gods, Devatas. Even that is a small fraction of Ananda of Brahmadani. Okay. So, Ekah Karma Devanam Anandaha. So, Ajanajam unborn Devatas are there. Karma Devatas are there. What is Karma Devata? Karma Devatas are there is somebody who has done a good karma here. Okay, they attain a Devaloka. They become Devatas. Somebody who has done a very good service and not realized. Okay, they have done a very good service. They become Karma Devatas. So now Karma Devata Ananda, 100 Ajanja Devata Ananda is one Karma Devata Ananda. Even that is a small fraction of the Ananda of a Brahmadani. Shatam Devana Ananda. So Ek Indrasya. 100 such Devatas Ananda is there now. That is Ananda of Indra, who is the Lord of all Devatas, Master of Devatas. Okay. Even that is a small fraction of Ananda of Brahmadani. Shatam Indrasya Ananda, 100 Indrasya, 100 Ananda, 100 Indra put together what Ananda they experience. So that is the Ananda of a Brahaspati. Brahaspati is Devaguru. Okay, Devaguru's Ananda is that. Even that is a small fraction of the Ananda of a Brahmadani. Shatam Brahaspati Ananda, 100 Brahaspatis put together, 100 Devatas, 100 Devagurus put together, their Ananda is there, no? Shrotriyasya cha Akamatasya, that is a small fraction of the Ananda of a Brahmadani. Shatam Prajapati Ananda, 100 Prajapatis, 100, what is that? Prajapati means creators, right? 100 Brahaspati means Devaguru. 100 Devaguru's Ananda is equal to Ananda of a Prajapati. Prajapati means creator, Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma. Even that Ananda is a small fraction of the Ananda of a Brahmadani. Hundred such Prajapatis Ananda, 100 such Brahmas Ananda is the Ananda of a Brahman. That is the Ananda of a Brahmadani. So just to give it, just to make you tempted, just to make you talk always, get more and more and Ananda. So, right? So what happens? Okay, this is to give an example of make you understand that it's a gradation of Ananda. Not if everybody says happy, please understand. But in the sense of experience, when you say in words, it's not same. If you say I have pain, okay, that pain may not be the same when you say I have pain. The grade scales of pains are different, right? For somebody, giving injection is so painful. For a soldier, putting a knife in his stomach is not so painful. Understand? Alright? Soldier says, I have pain. But for you, taking injection is more painful than soldier taking a knife into his stomach. The scale of pain is very different for different people. The similar scale of happiness is also very different for different people. It's all inner experience. You cannot measure that. So there is a measure given here to give an understanding that they are very, very different. So somebody says, I am blissful. Okay. So where do you stand in the scale? You have to understand. Right?
So lengthy the scale is there. Calculator once.
or all wealth in the world, if somebody gets how much ananda he gets, this one is smallest of the ananda. Right? The one who is eternal, one who is the Aditya sun, he is alone, he is the same. One who realizes that, one who is in Aditya and one who is in me, is the one and the same. One who realizes this, he will cross over Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha, and he becomes free. See, all these koshas are like dress. I have a dress, you have a dress. So, the dress is what is changeable, but Atma is unchangeable. Right? Atma is the changeless. What is the difference between you and the Chaturmukha Brahma, the creator? You have a body which is small, he has a body which is big. That's all. But one who is wearing that body, that is Atma. He is same in both. One who is in the ant and one who is in the elephant. One who is in Brahman and one who is in the Devatas and one who is in you. One who is in sun and one who is in you is one and the same. So everything else is a covering body. One who realizes this becomes free. So go beyond the physical structure. So to illustrate this, in South Canada we have a play called Taittreya. You see that? Taittreya is a big doll. Somebody sits inside and dances. They are all made to illustrate these concepts actually. Okay, now it has become an entertainment program. So all the whole body is covering. So the one who is sitting there inside is Jivatma. Jivatma also, when the covering of Jivatma goes, it becomes one with Paramatma. To make that understand that Taittreya is there. यतो वाचो निवर्तन्ते अप्राप्य मनसा सह आनंदो ब्रह्मणो विद्वान् न विवेति कुतश्चनेति एतगम् अवाव न तपति हिमहगम् साधु नाकरम् किमहं पापम् अकरम्वेति स य एवं विद्वान् एते आत्मानुगम् शृणुते उपेहि एष एते आत्मानुगम् शृणुते य एव वेद इति उपनिषत् इति नवमो अनुवाकः Mind, yato vacho nivartante. The words cannot explain Brahman. The words will become only silence. You cannot explain the Brahman because it's like this. The peak experience in life you cannot put in words. Okay? When there is deep love, there's deep silence. When two people are sitting in the park and they're chatting, only thing which is absent there is love. When there's deep love, it's only silence. When you think of Brahman, when you speak of Brahman, silence is the best way to express it because it's beyond all words. Every word will fall short of that explanation. That doesn't mean that words cannot explain it. Words can only be a pointer. For example, somebody asks you, where is Mysore? You show this is way to Mysore. So you can say show the way to Mysore, but you cannot show Mysore. The words can only become pointers, but words cannot explain. So Upanishads also are words. They can be pointers, but they cannot be. Without words and pointers, you cannot reach it. But words and pointers are required, but words and pointers are not that. Words are mere explanations. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to have a book on his table. The book is about rivers of India. All the rivers of India is explained in that. Ganga, Yamuna, Godavari, Saraswati, Narmada, Sindhu, Kaveri explained. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to tell his students, go and bring me 1 cup of water from that book. The book speaks about all rivers, but you cannot get a water. Similarly, Upanishads speak of Brahman, but Brahman itself, he is gone beyond that. You have to experience it. But without Upanishads, you cannot attain Brahman because it's a person. Right? It's like a roadmap, but roadmap is not the destination. So, who doesn't want to go to all over the world, especially Switzerland? Okay, first honeymoon, second honeymoon, some third honeymoon. Okay, you want to go to Switzerland, and where is the best place to find Switzerland? Atlas map. You go to Switzerland. Oh, in the Atlas, but that is not okay. Switzerland is what you have to experience. You have to go there. So the Upanishad is all like a map. All scriptures like a map. Okay. The map is used, but map itself is not the destination. The words cannot reach it. Words cannot explain really what Brahman is. You have to experience it. He'll become free from all. He'll become free from all fears. So then he'll also be free from all regrets. I should have done this. I should not have done this. This is right. This is wrong. This is the right thing to do. This is the wrong thing to do. And he goes beyond dharma and adharma. He becomes free from dharma and adharma. He will never do any adharma, but he becomes free. His judgment, you cannot judge him from the societal standard. Okay. To give an example, in Mahabharata war, okay, Krishna says, "Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam shrayamyam." Whenever the dharma goes to uphold dharma, I am God. But what Krishna did in Mahabharata, is it dharma or adharma? He says karna is actually what is it? The wheel is stuck. Krishna says, okay. Now is it dharma or adharma?
Dharma at that point of time, situation.
Krishna is beyond dharma and adharma. The Atma-gnani is beyond dharma and adharma.
When Atma-gnani directs, it is.
The question is, who is the Atma-gnani? That is a bigger problem.
That means Krishna is beyond Atma-gnani.
Krishna is Gnani. Atma-gnani and Brahman, they are not separate. Krishna is Parabrahma Swarupa. Atma-gnani is also Parabrahma Swarupa. Okay. So that completes the second chapter. Next chapter is called Bhraguvalli. Bhraguvalli is how Bhragu Maharshi realized Brahman. That's called Bhraguvalli.
Princess of Bharat.
Huh?
ಅಲ್ಲ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಲಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಯಾವ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ರಾಜಕೀಯದಾಗ
ಅದೇನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ
All are pointing to one direction.
but each one is correct.
Each is correct.
Ultimately, you didn't tell us what is the secret of that. You didn't tell us.
That's not it.
You didn't. You said I will tell you the secret of that.
You missed it. I told.
ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು
Birth and death are not there. Huh?
And I was waiting only for that. What is the secret of death? That I was waiting for that.
Okay.
Stop.
Yeah. Stop.